Hello, everyone. Our apology for what just happened. It seems like we had a little bug with the first space. Hopefully, it's not gonna happen again. So I hope that everyone is fine. We are gonna go straight into the main subject. What I want you first to understand, guys, is a quick recap of what happened. We're still gonna wait 2 minutes because the first space got wrecked out of nowhere, and I couldn't tell you exactly why and how, most specifically. So let's wait maybe 2 more minutes for the people that were here before to join back. I see that more people are joining. This is good. We start in 1 minute, guys. And as I mentioned previously, and I'm going to tell you once again here, you will have the possibility of listening to everything I'm about to say because we're going to keep a recording of the space on Twitter. Let's wait a little bit more. And I hope that everyone is fine, by the way. All right, 1 minute passed. Let's go. So, the first thing we need to talk about is the context for those of you that were not here yesterday and that didn't have any of the stuff going on. Basically, yesterday we got hacked during the TG, so the token generation event. This event led to us losing the value of the Pixiz, the regular Pixiz. But we want to assure you that we are doing our best to find the culprit, and we did find him. We told you guys that we were looking for him. We found him, and you have every single information we currently have, both on Discord and on our Twitter. Now, that being said, what exactly happened with the hack is that this developer basically exploited the smart contract he created, which led to a failure that allowed him to literally take all the vesting for himself. And obviously, it led to most of you with your allocation not being able to redeem them. That being said, we want to assure you that we found him, and on top of that, that we found a solution that we are going to expose right now and that we want to talk about with you. What happened first after the hack is that we asked you what you wanted us to do. We had two situations, or two, how could I say that, two solutions we came up wanted, or we could keep the regular token, the first one, and get the game going with the first token, or the creation of a new token. And let's be honest, whole team, that it was important for him to keep the regular Pixies going. And it quite influenced the votes that we gave you. But after thinking about it with the team, we found a better solution, or at least a solution that could profit to literally everyone. And with the Pixies and what is currently happening, the guy that the hacker. Oh wait, give me 2 seconds because someone is telling me that I'm cutting off, and I know why. I'm gonna tell you. Give me 2 seconds. I know why I'm 2 seconds, guys, because I'm receiving calls on my end and I need to stop the calls. My apologies. Now you should be able to hear me clearly. I'm just waiting for someone on my team to confirm that you can hear me clearly. And after that, we are going to explain everything. Can someone confirm that we can hear me clearly? Please. Even if you want to slide directly into my DMs, guys, to tell me that we can hear me clearly, don't worry, you can do that. Okay, so I got the confirmation that everything works. So I was saying, basically, if we kept the regular Pixies in its current state, we face a huge problem. Problem being that there is one guy that flew away with the whole Pixiz, at least the part of the vesting. What does it imply? It implies that if we keep going with it, the value is totally lost. On top of that, we have quite a lot of people that just dipped by buying the Pixiz at such a low price and such an important amount of Pixiz that if we kept going with it, it would totally destroy the variables and basically the whole economy of the game. I'm going to take an example for all of you to understand what I mean by that. With the Pixiz, we intend to make it a useful token into the game, as it's basically what a Web3 game does. But at the same time, if we kept the regular Pixiz, we will have some unfair advantages for those of you that exploited or at least profited from the big downfall of the price of the Pixiz. Basically, if you bought the Pixiz when it was at its all-time low, so way below the regular zero point 0.4 cents that we went with at the beginning when it was released, it would imply that you will get millions and millions of Pixiz. And if with those millions of Pixiz, when we launch the game, you use them to pretty much advance everything and being able to upgrade everything, we will have a problem in the economy because some people will get an unfair advantage. And this is something we want to avoid because by doing this, we do not have the, the guarantee that people that made money, or at least I should say spent money into the game, will get advantage. And now, before we jump into the solution, I want to tell you that guys that bought Pixiz version 1, the regular token that we launched, will not lose anything in terms of money with what I'm about to tell you. And it's quite the opposite. Let me explain. Let's jump into the solution. What we want to do is creating a new token. And by creating a new token, I want to tell you that straight away. No need to sell your Pixiz version 1 because those Pixiz will get transferred to the new token. And we are going to transfer it a little bit differently depending on your situation. Hear me out. First of all, what you need to understand is that the people that profited from the dip will still get kind of their money back. We have Pixiz version 1 that is worthless right now because of what happened. If we kept it, we would struggle. So what happens with the new token? The new token will be the exact same price as the first one. So 4 cents for one token. With this token, you will not lose anything. We are going to take two examples, two different situations. We are going to start with people that exploited the dip, and after we're going to talk about our holders. First of all, for the people that exploited the dip, what is going to happen is that you guys managed to get a lot of tokens by buying it at a really low price. So what we're going to do is that we are going to convert those Pixiz version 1 to the Pixiz version 2 automatically. You will not have anything to do because we have the snapshot of all the wallets. We have everything here. And we are going to just be making the transfer from one to another. But what you need to understand is that the snapshot will be remade in order to make sure that we have everyone on the list and that nobody is left behind. So, for the people that got the dip, you guys managed to get quite a lot of Pixiz. We are going to transfer them, or at least, how could I say that? Not modify them, but let's say that we will convert them in money by, I shouldn't say money, monetary, let's say. What we want to do is you have Pixiz that are, for example, at 100, you have 100 Pixiz. You will get them transferred into Pixiz version 2 at the price of the Pixiz version 2. What we mean by that is that if you get 100 Pixiz that are worth close to nothing right now, we're going to convert them into the new Pixiz, but from the money perspective, which implies that right now the Pixiz version 1 is at 0.006, Pixiz version 2 is at 0.04, so 4 cents. And if you have 100 Pixiz at 0.006, we will transfer them for these number of Pixiz to be the equivalent amount in the new money or in the new price, which is 0.04. How could I say that in another way? I think you get the idea, and we will summarize exactly what we mean by that after. For example, if you had 15,000 Pixiz version one, sorry, you will get 2.5 thousand Pixiz version two approximately, because if we convert them to another to the new Pixiz and therefore to the new amount in money, this is what you will get. It's just a regular transfer, and this way we can assure you that you will not lose money, because right now the Pixiz number one is not valuable and is worthless. So if we transfer it to Pixiz version two, here you get your money back because you will be able to use them, and of course you also take the possibility of it skyrocketing or at least growing. It's a solid token with a minimum Pixiz in circulation, but I'm going to talk about that a little bit later on. Now we're going to talk about the second type of people, the holders, people with NFTs, people with airdrop, allocation, everything. As if you had allocation, what we are going to do is that we are going to give you the exact number of Pixiz version 2 that you should have with the Pixiz version 1. This way, you can't lose money. What we mean by that is that if at the airdrop, or let's say that your location was 100 Pixiz version 1, you will get 100 Pixiz version 2. There is no transfer in money. We are not applying the same idea on the people that profited from the dip and people that were following us since the beginning, that invested money, etc. Why do we do that? Because you guys literally deserve it, and at the same time, it allows everyone not to lose money. Because on one end, we have people that exploited dip, that thought that maybe they could make 100 or multiply by 100 their investment or anything, but with a worthless token. And on the other side, people that really used a lot of money into the game and that bought their not bought but had their allocation will not lose anything. We are literally transferring what you should have from the first Pixiz to what you will get to the second Pixiz. Why do we convert the amount into the version 2, the Pixiz version 2? Because right now, some people have 1 million Pixiz, and we can't ground them 1 million Pixiz into version 2, because otherwise it's going to destroy the game and the basic economic, like we talked about previously. But people that got airdrop pre-sale investing had an amount of Pixiz allocated that is mastered by us. What we mean by that is that you receive an allocation based on the variables of the game, which implies that you don't, for example, if we gave you 100 Pixiz, it's in allocation, it is because we know that it's beneficial for both the game and the economy, and also we know that it's not going to destroy the economy of the game. If we keep the Pixiz version 1, we would have a lot of problems because some people got millions and millions of Pixiz that they bought for literally nothing. Now, people from Pixiz version 2 are vested, but it's great for you. Why? Because we are going to limit the number of tokens in circulation. Our objective since the beginning is to put how could I say that, the smallest number of tokens in circulation. This is why the team has a 0% allocation. We refused all whales and investors, and by limiting the number of Pixiz in the version 2 of it, we have a solution that is making it easier for both you and us to get the project going. Now, for the people that are, you're probably going to ask, what about the vesting, right? Well, if you had your allocation if you had your allocation at the beginning, you are not going to get vested. You will receive all your Pixiz straight away. And now what you might ask is, how are we going to make that happen? Basically, the Pixiz version 1 holder will not have vesting, as we said, and the claim is going to be a little bit different. What do I mean by that? Of course, releasing a new token implies that we need a new TG, so a new token generation event. But here we know for sure that if we do a token generation event without the game going, it's probably going to be problematic for both us that made the game and also for you that invested money. So what we decided to do in order for everyone to win something is to organize a TG. We'll have the token generation event, and you will have the possibility of seeing your allocation, which will be the exact same as the Pixiz version 1. But you will be able to claim those when the beta is released. And the beta is going to be released next week. What does it imply, and why do we choose this solution? Basically, if we release the token, the new token, without providing the utility, we fear that the game will collapse because people will probably, have some hesitation on where the game is going, etc. But if we wait for the for the beta to be released for you to claim the tokens, then you will be able to use the token in game. And when you will see the 80% reward that we based our token economics on, you will see the utility of the Pixiz, and it will make a viable solution for it to stabilize, or at least for it not to lose money. This way, everyone will be able to see that the token, the new token, is viable, and that the new token will allow you to make money because into the game we have an 80% game reward. And another thing I want to talk about regarding the Pixiz, and regarding maybe we should finish with the beta before talking about that. The last thing I want to talk about regarding the beta is that when we will see the first winner of Pixiz and the astronomical gains the players will be able to achieve, you will be able, we will be able to attract new investors, new players, and this way we are gonna make the game get a new go and a better claim for literally everyone. Keep in mind also that we don't change our plans for some remaining Pixiz. They will be burnt if they are not used or anything, in order to make sure that the Pixiz will hold its value and therefore for you to have some benefits out of it. Now, maybe something I want to talk about regarding the Pixiz number 2, the variables on it. At first, when it came to the first Pixiz, we had way more tokens. Here, in the Pixiz version 2, we are going to have only 1.4 millions of them when the game is launched, because it's not going to impact the liquidity pool as much as before. What do we mean by that? Is that if we had more Pixiz and we kept the regular Pixiz going, the Pixiz version 1, the variables and the differences between the price before those guys that made millions or bought millions of Pixiz and the new guy that are entering with the new money, this difference will be too much. What do I mean by that? If we keep the 100 number of players, well, I shouldn't say it like that. I'm going to give an example because it's going to be much easier in terms of explaining. Basically, if we have some people with the Pixiz version 1 that have millions of Pixiz, if when we release the game they literally sell everything right away, it's going to make the whole economy collapse, and specifically the crypto money collapsed. Now, if we create these new Pixiz and we reduce the number of tokens, if people are selling them knowing that they are already a money transfer, because some of the first some of the people that had the Pixiz version 1 that are going to be transferred into Pixiz version 2, but from a money perspective, which means that if you had 15k Pixiz version 1 tokens, except if you're a holder, but if you're not a holder, if you had 15k Pixiz that are transferred into 2.5k Pixiz version 2, if you sell them, it's going to have less impact than if you sold the 15k. It's basic economy, and we'll provide some examples after. If we did that, we would make the game collapse. But if we keep the version 2 Pixiz, then with the new price, it's going to be fine for everyone. Now, that being said, there is some things we want to talk about. We listen to the community, and we want to talk about the liquidity pool. So you may ask how we are going to fill the new liquidity pool. And the answer is quite simple. Right now, we have $60,000 equivalent in Solana remaining in the regular liquidity pool. So the liquidity pool we had for Pixiz version 1. As we made a mistake and we want to own up our mistakes, what is going to happen is that Pixiz is going to put back $15,000 worth of Pixiz into this pool, and Gamma, our CEO, is going to put from his personal funds $40,000 for a total of 60K in Solana that we already have, plus 50K in Pixiz, plus 40K from personal funds of Gamma, for a total of 150,000 US dollar for the pool, which is a good pool and a pool that will allow the Pixiz version 2 to be sustainable on the long term, or at least for the launch of the game and for the economy to start. And it's the exact same pool than the one we had in the Pixiz version 1. So it's literally a restart. From a money or from an economy perspective, it's just a restart because we have the exact same variables when it comes to the liquidity pool, but you are going to get all advantaged because we have less tokens in circulation and a new token evaluated to a much better price. By doing this, everyone is winning because the holders will have the possibility of earning all of their money back by getting what they should have with the Pixiz version 1, but that they didn't because of the hack of the number of tokens during the vesting. And at the same time, people that exploited the dip thinking that they were going to multiply their gains by reselling maybe at multiply 100, multiply 10, whatever you want, will not be able to do that, but instead will get granted some Pixiz from the version 2 token for the economy to be viable, and they will actually be able to sell them without affecting too much the market, allowing the game to get going. Now, we want to assure you that we are listening to the community, to the critics, and the suggestions. This is the solution we came up with because it's the easiest solution possible and it's one that is beneficial for everyone, as much the holders as the people that benefited from the dip, that the team as well. And we will do everything in our power to make sure that it keeps going and that you guys get the best. Now, there are some questions that we are going to follow up with. Maybe one thing I want to say before, and something I really want to insist on, the fact that we are providing a solution for everyone. We are not here to provide something that will be beneficial for only a couple of you. We are here, we are in this together, and we are going to make it out together. And this is right now the best solution we found, and the solution that seems to be the most fair out of all the ones we came up with. Now, before we get into the questions, I would like to thank the team, thank the community, and most specifically, thank you all for your patience. Because with everything that went off, we still managed to get back on tracks. I want to remind you guys that it's important for both us and you to trust each other. And in order for you to understand that and to have some examples of that, I want to remind you that not so long ago, we had we had our whole website totally blocked by our web provider, and we got back on track. One time we got hacked, we got back on track. This time some money was lost from the liquidity pool, but as we told you, we are taking up our responsibilities. Gamma is going to get his personal funds directly into the liquidity pool. It's just a restart. It's just a restart, and nothing really changes. It's just that we had to face some difficulties. And well, the team is working H24 on this. Like, Gamma is, actively hunting the hacker. We did have this information, but at the same time, he's currently working on the new TGE and working with the rest of the team. I want to thank our CTO as well, Blagadariu, that came up with the solution, that really thought quite a lot about it. We discussed hours and hours about it, knowing how we can make it happen, etc. And finally, I want to thank you all for being here with me. Thank you all for just supporting the project. And we are quite proud and excited to tell you that this project is going to be a good project. We are going to work all together for it to be the best project ever. And waiting for that to happen, I'm going to answer some questions. And of course, if you have more questions, you can hit me up directly on Twitter, or you can get on our Discord. We'll try to answer some questions. So let's start with the questions. First question. I claim my 15% at TG, but just hold. Will my amount of claimed tokens be reduced? We already talked about it. No, you will not see your number of claimed tokens reduced. What we think, on the contrary, is that we want to give you more rewards. Like, you're going to have supplementary rewards. It could be mythic NFTs. It can be maps only for you in the game that you only can discover and can roam around. We are thinking, and we will add something that benefits people that got upset about what happened. Don't worry, we will find a reward for you to get. Now, and another thing, can you guys increase security? Yes, 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 yes. We found the exploit in the vesting contract, and right now we are in contact, or we are reaching out a partner, a trusted partner, that will be able to get the vesting, or at least the contracts that we need for the vesting done. But it's going to be made by professionals, by literally an entity that is specialized in that. So this way, if no, there is no if actually. This way, we're making sure that it's not going to happen again. When is the new TG? In the next few hours. Don't worry, we will keep you updated, but it's gonna happen extremely soon. What date the snapshot will be taken for the new token migration? What what date the snapshot will be taken for the new token migration? At the end of the AMA, so right after this call, and at the closure of the liquidity pool. Actually, like as we speak right now, Gamma and the rest of the team are creating the new liquidity pool, and you will receive directly your new Pixiz on your accounts pretty soon. We have to close quite soon. And I wanna insist on one thing that I forgot to insist on, and that is quite important. We want the Oh, my apologies, guys. I just saw that I muted myself by mistake. So I was saying, one thing I want to insist on is that you are going to be able to profit from the token version 2, because we're going to limit the supply on it. They are going to have less and less tokens in circulation than there was for the V1. This way, you will get the exact same number of Pixies with a much more with a bigger value, because obviously, as we decrease the number of tokens, it's going to increase its rarity. Is there any sex negotiations listing? Yes, quite a lot actually. We're in discussion with pretty much quite a lot of sex, and it's my part, so I can definitely guarantee you that I'm crawling under demands. What if I claimed the airdrop and sell it on the deep, so after the exploit? If you sold your token, you will not obtain, unfortunately, the version 2 token. If you sold it, there is nothing we can do, because it's not up to us to be able to get this back. Are there other questions? By the way, guys, if you want to ask some questions, you do have the possibility of doing it on our Discord server. There is an AMA question channel that is here for that. Can we hear more about the game? These three mini games are not enough. No problem. We are gonna have multiple types of game. Mini games are here only to for you to be patient and to be occupied until the real game is deployed. So during the beta that is happening next week, the vast majority of the beta is already ready. Currently, we could release it like in 2 or 3 days, and this is exactly what's going to happen. It's going to happen next week, and you will see the whole game. What do we have in here? We have games from exploration, so you will be able to explore the map. You will have different types of fights within the map, on the map, by roaming around. You will have accessible maps only based on the rarity of the NFT. So for example, if you own a mythic NFT, you will have a mythic map that only you and the other holders of mythic NFT will be able to get to. If you have a rare NFT, same. If you have an ordinary NFT, same, etc., etc. Your NFTs will also have the possibility of exploring the map by themselves and come back with the Pixiz, so the token. The more risks you take by sending your NFTs, the more you will earn. You will also have some kind of a Pixiz Vegas, so a real casino within Pixiz where you will be able to gamble your Pixiz in order to gain as much as possible. You will have the possibility of leveling up your NFTs as well. By that, we mean increasing their statistics. You will have to choose wisely which statistics you want to pick and which statistics you want to upgrade in order for you to make sure that you gain more and more Pixiz and that your NFTs don't go in exploration for nothing. You also have the possibility of gain more if you manage to get some missions going, because we have a quest system that is ready to be implemented at each level of NFTs, because you do have the possibility of increasing the statistics of your NFT, but you also have the possibility of leveling up your NFTs. And at each passage of level, so at each level up, you will need to spend Pixiz. If you want to increase your NFTs statistics, you will have to spend Pixiz, etc., etc. We'll also have an item shop with potions, weapons that you will be able to use in game, and that will provide you even more efficiency while fighting for the more Pixiz. And this is why the version 2 token supply in circulation will be extremely viable. And this is why we did the choice of not releasing, because claiming the token at the same time as the beta is out. Why? Because if we release the Pixiz, the version 2, at like the TG event, the TG, sorry, we make the TG within few hours, but the claim will appear at the same time as the beta, because this way you will be able to see the utility of Pixiz directly in the game, which makes it even more viable for both of you and I, or I should say you, the community, and us, the team, to see the utility of the Pixiz. And on top of that, guys, when you will see the tokenomics and when you will see the colossal gains you can make out of this, because we have an 80% game reward in the tokenomic, you will see that Pixiz is worth holding. And this way, everyone will be happy, because the curve of the Pixiz on the market is going to increase again and again and again. Now, there are many other things that we can talk about, but I think that I did pretty much a good round of what you can do in Pixiz. So we're going to go for another question. Can you send every NFT on exploration or only one squad? There will be different types of exploration. It will all depend on the rarity of your Pixiz, of your NFT, sorry, and the level of your NFT. For example, certain legendary NFT will have access to unique maps that are for legendaries only, with unique explorations, and same for other rarities, as we mentioned earlier. Um, are there other questions? Yes, there are. So it means that the next step is allocating the new Pixiz, then the TGE and beta in the same time next week. The creation of the liquidity pool is going to be done within a couple of hours starting from now. For the TGE, which is the creation of the pool, but for the claims, sorry, for airdrop and pre-sale holders, it will be at the moment of the beta, which is going to be available within next week. We're going to make it as fast as possible, obviously. During beta, can we play on mobile? You can already play on mobile, guys. We already made a mobile application. We are still upgrading it because we encounter some bugs, but the vast majority of them, if you have a good phone, will not bother you because you will not even see them. What about those who believed and never sold NFTs and Pixiz from what happened with the hacker? They may need something in reward. As we did and as we will always do with the new token, the 100K will be added. What do I mean by that? You will get some kind of reward because the liquidity pool is going to be filled by our own personal funds and specifically the ones from Gamma. So don't worry, you will get. We are currently working on a reward for you guys. Don't worry. We understand that we messed up with the first TG, so we are gonna make sure that you get something in return. We are I mean, to be honest with you, let's keep it simple. If you trust us, we've worked 3 months really hard on this project, and you're still catching up with us as with what happened yesterday. We obviously need to get you something in return. It's just impossible for us not to do it. So, what happens if I buy Pixiz version 1 right now? You will obtain Pixiz version 2 in the next hour automatically. So you can still buy the Pixiz version 1, but remember, guys, because some of you are probably thinking like that, if you buy 100 Pixiz version 1, which is equal to 0.0006 US dollars, you will not receive 100 Pixiz version 2 at zero point 0.4 cents, because otherwise we have the exact same problematic as we did with the Pixiz version 1. You will receive the equivalent in Pixiz version 2, but the equivalent in money, which means that you need to divide the value of Pixiz version 1 by the value of Pixiz version 2 in order to know how many Pixiz version 2 you will get. After buying Pixiz version 1, do you guarantee that at least I will not lose even $1 from what I spent? And will my Pixiz version 2 be vested or airdropped whole? So, so. I need to make it clear on that, and I hope that I do. But you will not lose $1, and I'm gonna explain. I'm gonna re-explain that because it's obviously the norm of the war. It's important to take some time on that. So I'm gonna recap what we talked about regarding this specific problem. What you fear right now is losing money by investing on the Pixiz version 2. What we came up with is a solution that allows you not to be able to lose money. If you are a holder, so you had an allocation because of your NFT, because of the airdrop, or because of the pre-sale, you will receive the number of Pixiz you should have get from the first TGE into the Pixiz version 2. So if you have an allocation, we are not touching your Pixiz based on the money. What we mean by that is that if you had 100 Pixiz deserved because of the allocation for the version 1, in the version 2, you will receive 100 Pixiz. We are not making a difference with money. So do not worry. Every people that got Pixiz version 1 will get Pixiz version 2. And if you have an allocation, you will get the exact same number. In this way, it's profitable for you because right now you don't even have your Pixiz because all the allocation is gone because of the hack. But if you received anyway those Pixiz, you will only have 100 Pixiz version 1 at $0.006. What we are doing is by creating a new liquidity pool and by creating a new token, you will receive 100 Pixiz that are capped at 0.4 cents. This way, you do not lose money because we invested back into the liquidity pool. So for the holders and allocation, no problem. You get the exact same result. It doesn't change anything for you. Now, for the people that invested into the Pixiz after the dip, You will not lose money either, because right now you invested on a token that is worthless because we can't keep it and it's not viable and it's not sustainable, both from an economy perspective, but also for the game, because of course if you bought it at such a small price, you will have millions and millions of Pixiz and you are completely destroying the game mechanics. What we provide is the equivalent of Pixiz version 1 in Pixiz version 2, but here we convert to the price of the new Pixiz. Because obviously, if you had 1 million Pixiz version 1, we can't get you 1 million Pixiz version 2 at zero point 0.4 cents. Otherwise, we are artificially exploiting, or not exploding, but we're making the value of what you had totally explode, which would be unfair for the holders. So this is pretty much what happened, and it's quite logic to work this way because you will not lose money. Right now you have Pixiz that are worthless, so if you get or you migrate to Pixiz version 2, you will have less Pixiz, but at least they will have a value, so you will be able to sell them, and this way you do not lose money as well. And this is pretty much the solution with which we came up with, because by doing this nobody loses anything. And once more, we want to avoid distributing too many Pixiz. We have, sorry, because I'm reading the chat at the same time, and there are many questions. We are gonna try to answer as many as possible. Do not worry, guys. Do we have to have those Pixiz version 1 in our wallet now to be able to get the 2.0, or are we completely restarting? If you do not have Pixiz version 1 right now, it means that you did not participate into the pre-sale, or you didn't have any airdrop allocation. Therefore, you will not get Pixiz version 2. It's logic. I mean, if you don't have Pixiz version 1 right now in your wallet, you're not affected by these changes. You will just have to invest, if you want to invest, after the TGE, when the beta will be released, and when you want to enter into the market by buying either NFTs or something to be able to play the game. Let me see if we have other questions. So the holders who didn't sell anything after the exploit will be airdropped the same value, right? Every single token that you did not claim, it doesn't change anything for you. Once again, you will be able to claim during version 2. If you are a holder, if you believe into the project, if you had, I'm going to take an example. If you had 30 NFTs, which led you to get approximately 30,000 Pixiz version 1, you will get 30,000 Pixiz version 2, and that's it. And you will get them priced at 0.4 cent the token. So it doesn't change anything for you. And we really want to insist on that, because it's the solution we came up with is this one, and it's the one that allows you not to lose money. I just hope that I'm making myself clear. But by the way, on Discord, guys, on this point, because it's extremely important for me to make you understand that you're not losing money. If you understand everything I tell you, tell me on the Discord. Otherwise, tell me something else. And if I need to re-explain, I will re-explain. I will re-explain. But basically, yeah, if you are a holder, you will receive the exact same number of tokens. But the new token will be valued not at 0.006 like the one we had previously. It will be valued at 0.4 cents one Pixiz. So you don't lose anything. So if you kept faith into the project after what happened yesterday, you are the big winner, because it doesn't change anything for you. Let me see if we have other questions. You mentioned about Mythic. Is that a new rarity, and how will import it will be simple? It's a supposition to make you understand that you will not be affected only because you have a unique NFT. For example, if you have 5 NFTs, how could I say that? Mythic, sorry, I'm not even answering the question. You mentioned about Mythic. Is that a new rarity? It's the top 1% NFTs on our collection. It's not a new one. We have also legendaries. Oh, no, sorry, it's the opposite. My apologies, guys. Legendary is the top 1%. Mythic are the top 5%. And you have different rarities on NFTs, and every single rarity of NFT will get not their own gameplay, but their own map to explore, because this way we want to make sure that the NFTs have and keep their values on the market. Because obviously, when you have a legendary NFT, if you send them in mission, etc., you will gain more Pixiz than if you own a regular NFT. It's basic game variables and game economy and game mechanic. And it's also here to make you understand that if you were here since the beginning and managed to get your hands on a legendary NFT, you will get what you deserve and you will get a huge reward. Because I want to remind you once again, guys, but we are at 80% game reward. And 80% game reward for a Web3 game is enormous. And when you will have access to the beta and that you will see the first winners and you will see the number of Pixiz we're talking about, don't worry, the curve of the Pixiz is going to be all good. Or at least we feel about it, because that's exactly what we're working with. And one last thing, we will get a special gift for those of you that supported us since the beginning. We're still working on this, knowing how we can implement it, but it's definitely going to happen. Sellers of NFTs don't deserve any reward. That's not necessarily a question. That's not a question, but can I turn that into a question or no? That's 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 a whole essay right there, isn't it? Um, I mean, that's not necessarily a question, but sellers of NFT don't deserve any rewards. You gotta understand that from let's put yourself into the shoes of people that sold their NFTs. They were scared. They didn't have any informations. They thought that maybe someone from the team went away with the money or anything. And you can't blame people for fearing something, for fearing what happened. No, it doesn't work like that. Those people had a legitimate fear, and you can't blame them in any possible ways. Of course, the rewards will come only to those who never sold, even if fear was there. And as you can see, you can still trust us on this, because it's going to happen and it's going to arrive pretty soon. But you can't blame people for selling when they didn't have the informations, and when you can't blame them. I mean, it's just logic. I don't even know what to answer, because on this matter, I don't think that you can blame anyone that sold, because it's a market. We know what happens in the crypto market. Some projects are scam. It happens quite a lot. And because we're not a project that scams, we took some time for a regular answer. We tracked down the hacker. We are putting back 40,000 into the liquidity pool from Gamma's CEO personal funds. I mean, we are doing, and it's important for you to understand that we are doing the best we can in order to get the project viable and to have the launch we think you guys deserve. And this is why, even if on our end it's going to cost us quite a lot of money, we don't care. We are here to create a game. We believe into our project. And if, because we had an exploit, we have to get back those 40,000 from our own pocket, we'll make it. Why? Because we trust the project. We trust the project. We trust you. We trust that we have a bright future ahead. But in order to get us access to this bright future, we need to get the Pixiz version 2. And we provide it in the best possible way, because in the end, nobody will lose money with the solution we came up with. The only one that actually lost money here are the team. Literally, we are the only one affected by this technique, and it's totally logical. To give you the process of thoughts, we thought about you by saying, okay, right now, people, if we don't find a solution for everyone, and literally everyone, no matter if you sold, no matter if you bought the Pixiz after the dip, we don't care about that. We wanted a solution for everyone, and the solution that we came up with is one that cost us money, and we went for it anyway, because we don't care about that. We have enough funds for us to get the game going. We are definitely not hurted in any ways when it comes to the project. So once again, the only guy we can thank right now, and I'm not saying that in a good way, is this Spark C guy, the hacker that stole 100K. But as I already told you, Gamma is willing to get himself directly into the streets for Pixiz because that's how much he trusted the project, and this is how much we also trust the project, guys. Once again, and let's talk. Let's break the barrier. Let's talk like if we were one body to each other. If we wanted to get away with your money, and if we were really the ones doing this, you will never hear about us again. You will not see a new liquidity pool within the couple of hours that are coming. You I will not be here talking with you, trying to explain to you what solution we came up with. Like, how, Gamma, our CEO, and our CTO spent the whole night finding the solution. And I can't tell you the joy that Gamma had when he talked to me about the solution he came up with. This was incredible. And it brings me joy as well because we have this project that is going on, and we are going to go to the top. We're going to make it all together because when we'll have version 2 of the Pixies, you will see that everything is going to go fine. All you need right now is to wait for the new TGE, and everything will be automatically applied. You will receive your Pixies, what you deserve, and this way we'll get a fresh restart, and most importantly, a restart that doesn't affect your funds at all. For those of you that hold, and for those of you that profited from the dip, everybody will gain something out of it. Now we will do maybe there are some questions I didn't see, or some questions that need to be addressed. Maybe I'm gonna go for one last question. I'm still not understanding precisely. Will you get the amount of tokens you currently have of the Pixiz token in version 2 tokens, or does this token not matter anymore and you will get version 2 as a new launch with the amount you had when the first token launched? That's actually quite an interesting and excellent question. Basically, Pixiz version 2 will be the exact same at the release than the Pixiz version 1. The main difference being that we're going to see less Pixiz in circulation, therefore making sure that the value will be held. It's the exact same amount in the liquidity pool in the version 2 token than there were in the version 1. In the version 1, we had $150,000. In the version 2, we are going to have 100 and no, yeah, $150,000. So the exact same number. But now it's better because before it was $150,000 for the version 1 with 2.1 million Pixiz distributed. But for the version 2, we're only going to have 1.3 million distributed. Therefore, it's going to have a much better value. And that's it for the pool. I think that there is nothing else to say. Everything is coming within the next hour. Everything is ready. You will just have we'll just have to click to make it work. Once again, I want to thank you all for being here, for trusting the project, for supporting us, for letting us have this another chance of proving you all that not only is Pixiz viable, but it's definitely a 100% community focused project. Once again, 0% team allocation. We came up with a solution that allows everyone and every single one of you guys that invested to get their money back. And now, what the future of Pixiz holds depends on what we will do with the project within next week. And don't worry, we have plenty of ideas. Everything is ready. And when you will receive the tokens, and when you will see what you can use those tokens for in the game, and how much tokens you can win directly into the game, everything is going to go fine. The curve is going to go up, and we are going to have some crazy moments all together. And maybe if you want in the future, and if you feel like it, we will do another AMA. I'm available if you need to be reassured because you have maybe questions that are still left not answered, I will be here. I'll do my best, and we will talk with the rest of the team to see if yes or no we do that. Anyway, we will do a summary of the AMA for those of you that were not here, or maybe there are some points that I explained poorly. Because I want to remind you all that English is not my native language. If I could if I could do it in my original language, it would have been much easier. I'm not gonna lie, but we'll do a whole summary. We'll send the details, the link to the new token, everything you need right within the next hours. And waiting for that to happen, I want to thank you all. I want to thank the team. I want to thank everyone but Sparksy. And don't worry, guys, we faced multiple difficulties in the past. And as always, we are going to get back on our feet, making Pixiz stronger than ever and making sure that we get the game going. So see you soon, hopefully within 1 week in the game. And if you have any more questions, feel free to hop on our Discord and ask your questions, and we will make sure to answer them. Bye, guys.